Hey, hey, everyone. Welcome to the rabbit hole. I'm Connie. And
Hello, hello, I'm B.
so today, really exciting. I know we've been pumping it up, but we have two subject matter experts with us today. The first one we have is Carla. She is a Northwoods birding expert. Super fun.
Hello, everybody. Well, my name is Carla, which is not really my name because I had to play along here with all of this fun with Connie and V. I am I guess I do a lot of things, but one of the things I really love to do is watch birds.
Mhm.
I've done that for a long time. I live in Wisconsin in the North Woods, where I am currently sitting on a deck here with Connie. And it's starting to get dark out, so we're not seeing the birds coming in, but we have lots of birds here. And my deck sits right up in the canopy of the trees, so it's just wonderful spot for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful where you guys are at. I got a chance to see you guys a little bit earlier, and you guys are literally dead smack in the middle of the woods. There's so much green. It looks beautiful out there.
I get home from work and I just sit and stare into the woods.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I stare at the streets.
Ooh, I hear a whippoorwill.
Oh, whippoorwill.
Oh my
Whippoorwill.
gosh.
That's what they sound
Hopefully
like.
there'll be one closer so we can get it. I know.
Carla, you might be better than the Merlin app.
I use the Merlin app, believe me, I love it. I love the Merlin app because I'm terrible at memorizing things,
Oh, yeah.
and there are so many different bird calls, especially in the spring when the warblers are migrating through. I can't tell one warbler from the next most of the time. There's a few I know. So I just put the app on, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's the Tennessee warbler. Oh, yeah, there's the orange-crowned warbler or the Canada warbler," or whatever warbler it happens to be, and it's right because I hear it and I go, "Yep, that's it."
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
We also have our other subject matter expert, Barb. And Barb, you kind of like the conspiracy theory that maybe birds are not real. So, Barb, can you introduce yourself to us? Tell us a little bit about you and maybe about your theory.
Yeah, hi guys. My name's Barb, as previously mentioned. I'm a big conspiracy theorist. Not necessarily that I believe them all, but I really like digging into them. I think they're interesting, and I like the idea of pushing the "but what if" factor. So I'm excited to talk about this specific one we're talking about, that birds might not be real. And I'm gonna challenge you guys on a few things while we're at it.
Barb, that's my type of girl right there. I love a person that's always asking, why, why? So I'm super pumped to see where this discussion takes us, both Carla with your expertise and Barb with your questioning.
I have to say I'm a little nervous about it, and not because I'm aware of the theory, mostly because my daughter, who is also a way better birder than I am, she's 22 years old and just has embraced birding, like,
Mhm.
way more than I ever did, and she loves that theory, so I'm excited to hear it. I'm a little nervous about how I'm gonna react to it.
I mean, all good. I love it.
Conspiracy theories are fun.
Yeah.
But to me, that's what they are. They're fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's not hold back punches, but be respectful and dive into where this rabbit hole takes us.
No, this will be fun.
Absolutely. So, Carla, how did you get involved in bird watching?
Well, it's kind of 2, 3, 4, 5-fold, I guess. Going back to when I was in 7th grade, I had a science teacher who I probably had a little bit of a crush on, but more he was just an incredible teacher, and he just made learning really fun, and he loved birds, and so he would bring birds into the classroom, not actual birds, but he would bring bird watching, which is that's what we called it back then, was bird watching. He would bring that idea into the classroom and talked a lot about it, and he was just fun and made it interesting, and so
Okay.
I wanted to learn more about it myself, and I'm a person that always wants to know more about what I'm looking at. Like, if I'm looking at a tree, I have to know what kind of tree it is.
Mm.
If I'm looking at a flower, I need to know the name of it. I'm really bad with scientific names, though. So that was kind of where I started. We had a cabin up here when I was in 7th grade that's just 5 doors away from where we're sitting right now. My mother was very much into it too. Like, I think she got into it because I was. And so she really encouraged it. We would go bird watching together and still do sometimes. So that was pretty much the start of it.
Mhm.
From that, I took it more into a lifelong love, and I ended up working at a wildlife area not far from here that is one of the world premier birding locations. So, met a lot of really way better birders than me and learned a lot from them. But I also got to teach a lot of people about it. So, That was fun. I worked as a wildlife educator.
So not only are you really into birding, but your mom taught you how to bird and now you pass that on to your daughter as well.
Oh, I
So
think I
that's
taught her how, honestly. We learned together, if that makes sense. But yeah, my daughter, I taught her how too.
that
And then yeah.
that's really beautiful. One thing that I had a question about was when you were saying you said that bird watching is what we called it then. What do we call it now?
We call it birding. Just birding.
Instead of bird watching,
Instead
it's
of bird
birding.
watching, you're birding, and I don't know, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason behind it. There's the American Birding Association that probably had a lot to do with it. They're the people who determine what we call a bird. What if we call a blue jay, or if we call a Baltimore Oriole. Well, that was what it was called when I was a kid, but now
Mm.
we call it a northern Oriole.
Let me
Yeah.
say too, it's really funny how it evolves over time, or maybe how the names are corrected because my mother, when I was younger, I could have sworn she told me that on the North Shore of Duluth, it was always seagulls. And then when I got older, I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's go see the seagulls." And she was like, actually, they're just gulls."
Your mother's a lot like my mother. She was the same way.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we drop the C with the gulls? Now it's just gulls?
Yeah.
Well, only because a lot of different kinds of gulls, and there are a couple of them that truly have the name seagull in their name, but most of them are called gull. Herring gull, ring-billed gull, Icelandic gull, things like that. So,
I'm so glad you're here to break that down because I was just gonna be like, "Wow, that's such a silly thing," but look,
yeah.
there's a reason behind it.
But then there's this awesome book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Have you ever read that?
I've heard of it because of
Oh my
you.
god, it's so good, and my
I
aunt
have it in Spanish.
is oh, do you have now, have you read it?
Not yet, not
Oh, you
yet.
gotta read it because it's so Jonathan Livingston Seagull was written probably in the '70s, I guess, during the hippie era, I'm sure,
Mm,
because it's very hippie. But it's about a gull who lives up on the North Shore of Lake Superior, I
okay.
think, it's my guess. It could be maybe the ocean, I don't know. He basically,
Look at
like, he loves to fly. There it is!
Juan
Juan Salvador
Salvador
Gibbon.
Gaviota. I love it.
Well, anyway, so he, like, has an existential crisis. He likes to fly really high and then dive bomb to the ground, which seagulls aren't supposed to do,
Mm.
and so
It's more like
everyone
pelicans,
well,
right?
yeah, and all of the senior seagulls on the shoreline, they,
Yeah.
like, tell him that he's not doing it right, and they're,
Okay.
judging him and stuff, and other people are like, "Live your own life," and then, so it's a good book, read it. It really has nothing to do with birding though, but
I Yeah, I figured I most definitely will. My mom, gave it to me actually so I can practice reading my Spanish, so I gotta kinda work on that. I do think it's hilarious that the translation just doesn't remotely translate.
well, obviously Juan was supposed to be Jonathan, right? And then
Gaviota is the type of bird, so, like, what was it, a
yeah,
seagull? It was
Yeah.
seagull.
Jonathan something Seagull? So, yeah, it actually means seagull. So
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Nice.
Which is obviously the wrong word.
For for us, yeah.
Sorry, mom.
Sorry.
no, it's a hey, it sounds like a beautiful book. I will be taking it out to read it.
Mm. So,
That's fun.
okay, here's a question for you. So in the North Woods here, is there any one bird that you would say is the troublemaker bird?
Any one?
Any one bird?
I think there's more than one, but it depends on what you define troublemaking as. There's a bird that is here in the woods. It's called a brown-headed cowbird, but they're all over the place. And they're parasitical they're nest parasites. And what they do is
They're the ones who take over people's
well,
eggs.
they lay their eggs in a warbler nest, and the eggs are bigger, and their babies are bigger than the warbler babies.
Oh.
And most of the time, the warblers raise them, and their babies also mostly survive, I think. But sometimes they're putting so much energy in raising the cowbird baby that's much larger and needs more food that their own offspring don't get as much food
I
that
mean,
they
that sounds
yeah.
like a conspiracy to me. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so
This sounds darker than any conspiracy theory I could talk about.
Right? I know.
yeah, right?
"Hey, guess what? I'm gonna lay
It
my eggs in
is.
your nest,
But they're
and you're
not
gonna raise them."
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Actually, I
they
heard that
do.
eagles were pretty terrible parents too.
Eagles?
Eagles, yeah, like bald eagles.
Yeah. Like, in what way?
I heard that they, like, make them fight and they watch and they just kind of, like, abandon their kids for long periods of time, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, here's some food," and
Well, I think that's probably like the survival of the fittest kind of thing, like you teach your kids to be tough so that they are strong. Only the
Okay.
strong survive kind of thing. But
Yeah.
again, that's a theory. That's the interesting thing about biology in general is that everything that we know about birds and everything that we tell people and teach and we read is things that we don't really know the truth.
Yeah.
Because the bird can't tell us why they're doing something, we just guess. It's usually an educated guess, but it's still a guess,
Yeah.
and that's something that I think is interesting about biology in general.
I think the most interesting thing about a bald eagle that I have seen is when they have, like, a bald eagle cam, and here comes the mama eagle with, like, a baby kitten to feed.
that's sad. I went to Montana recently, and we saw a bald eagle, and they told us something really funny about them, which is that, that "caw" sound that you, like,
Oh, no, it's
hear
like,
in movies?
yeah,
Yeah, that's wrong. That's actually a hawk.
yeah.
Yeah, red-tailed hawk. Like,
I
all
was
the
like
movies that you hear are the red-tailed hawk calling.
"What the heck is that?"
They have a kind of like a cry, like a "ear,
Yeah.
ear." It kinda I mean, it's similar in
It's like
some
a
ways, but
wimpy sound, though.
yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, they'll make a lot it depends. Most birds have more than one kind of call, it depends on what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like if they're talking to their kids, they have a
Yeah.
different call or they have a
Oh,
different
okay.
sound than when they're just
I
saying,
see.
"Hey, baby, look over here. I wanna mate you, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the best eggs," and, all that stuff, so
I'm gonna give you the best eggs over
gonna be
here.
the best
"Hey,
kids,
come
yeah,
over here.
yeah,
I got the best eggs in the forest."
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting because there was an owl that we heard is a long-eared owl,
Mm,
and they're in Sioux Falls, they were nesting in the backyard,
mhm.
and they like kinda open country most of the time, but up here, I was doing a survey one evening, with this high school girl, and we recorded a call that was coming from the woods, and we had no idea what it was, and it took us we had to send it off to, like, somebody at University of Wisconsin, and they told us that it was the nesting call of the female long-eared owl, and
Oh,
which sounds completely different than the
than the normal
normal
call.
call. Yeah, yeah, so I know, it's so interesting, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, stuff that you don't I mean, stuff that I don't think about every day,
Yeah.
but,
No.
okay.
Mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
you have different ways to talk to your kids and to talk to your spouse
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, sometimes it might be the same. Sometimes I feel like I have, like, 4 kids instead of 3, but,
and your husband probably feels the same way
I
sometimes.
know, probably.
Yeah,
Connie's a mess, it's okay.
Connie's wonderful.
Yes. So also, so we know the troublemaker is, like, the brown-headed cowbird.
And that's one of them. Yeah, house wrens also do something similar.
House
But they
wrens?
go around and they actually kill the eggs. They
Oh.
peck at the eggs and break them open.
Ooh,
And, they like to nest
that's
in those
gangster.
bluebird boxes,
Yeah.
So, I remember that, my mother would put out bluebird boxes all over her yard, and there'd be tree swallows in them, house wrens, and sometimes bluebirds.
Okay.
And but the house wrens, I didn't know this, but I learned this recently that house wrens actually do that. They go around and kill and then break the eggs so that apparently it's to take away the competition. That's the
Oh.
theory there.
Ooh, that's evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That
So,
checks out, though.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear, but we're hearing all the whippoorwills right now.
Yeah, there's more than one calling.
There's a bunch. So would that be the main character of the forest?
I mean, it's one of them, especially in the evening at night. I mean, I like the barred owl as well for that. I mean, sometimes they're often calling across the river to each other and stuff, but I don't know, during the day around here, one of the neatest birds we have is the red-headed woodpecker, and they're not supposed to be here. Like, they never were here when I was growing up. We moved to South Dakota, and they were there. You'd see them on the telephone poles and stuff, and they like the open prairie. And all of a sudden here along the river, I think it's because the river's so open,
Hmm.
they started nesting about 25 years ago,
Okay.
and we have lots of them, and they're just bright and bold and beautiful, and they're loud and obnoxious too at the same time, like a lot of woodpeckers are. They fly like flycatchers in the treetops and
Oh,
catch
yeah.
bugs, and, they're really a neat bird. They're
It's like
kind of
pest control.
diverse, so
Yeah.
just about any woodpecker around here, though.
Hmm.
We have lightning bugs going off in the woods now too.
That's
It's
super
sum
cute.
it's summertime.
Well, You know a ton about birds. I want to know how these birds and the knowledge that you have connect kind of with Barb's conspiracy theories as well.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of gonna ask you guys some questions and then go through the history of what this conspiracy theory went through from like start to finish. And then I'm gonna tie in some like real bird knowledge with that. So first things first,
Carla's about to test you on that.
I'll probably get it wrong. Honestly, my answer for why seagulls were not called seagulls in Duluth was gonna be, well, it's not a sea. So I mean, I'm already
Exactly. That probably has a lot to do with it, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I picked this theory mostly because I don't know why, but I'm not a fan of birds. They freak me out.
I feel that way about squirrels.
Really?
Yeah, they're like little rats with fuzzy tails. I feel like they're in disguise.
Okay, I could see it. I see it.
Yeah. Like vermin.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah. The red squirrels, I think those are the ones that my father thinks are kinda evil.
He's right about that. The red squirrels will get into your house and chew up things. The gray squirrels don't generally. If they do get into your attic or something, it's because 'cause they're looking for some place to be warm and have a little house, but we have lots of gray squirrels around here, and I love them, yeah. They
Gotcha.
come right up on the deck and look in the window and stuff.
Say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress,
We
as
digress.
happens a lot on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first things first, I have a question for you guys. Have any of you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No. I've never seen a baby pigeon.
You're starting off on the right foot. I have also not seen a baby pigeon.
Okay, so maybe, just maybe, they just come out of the factory as adults, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never seen a baby pigeon.
Well, same. Never.
Is there a reason why we don't see baby pigeons, like, for real? Like, do they hide until until they're
Well,
adults, or do they just hatch in really big eggs?
we need to know where their nest is.
Have you seen a baby pigeon?
I have not, and I've
Um,
not seen a baby mourning dove, and I've not seen a lot of baby just about anything because I
So
don't.
she's right. So she's right.
okay.
Yeah, except that there is a book that it's in my storage unit right now because 'cause I'm in the middle of, like, building a house and stuff. There's a book there every 5 years, birders around Wisconsin go around and they survey birds, and they look for signs of breeding birds, and so I'll have to reference my atlas at some point to see. It's called the Breeding Bird Atlas of Wisconsin.
Mhm.
I'm sure it talks about something to do
Mhm.
with the babies, but I don't know, maybe it's just that they saw pigeons and they were cooing. I don't know.
Carla, I have seen baby mourning doves, but I've never seen a baby pigeon.
In my yard right now, I see a ton of baby robins.
Cute.
Yep.
And they're
And
big.
they're kinda big and they're also kinda dumb though, because 'cause they'll, like, fly and land in front of my dogs, and my dogs are like they wanna eat them. You know?
The other thing about birds is that the fledgling bird, when it first leaves the nest, is oftentimes larger than its parents.
Mm.
So you don't know for sure if you're seeing an adult or a baby pigeon, I think, when you see a group of pigeons.
Okay.
That's actually pretty interesting. That maybe that's the reason why.
Okay, so follow-up question to that because none of us can confirm we've seen a baby pigeon. What happens to people when they touch power lines? Right? They get electrocuted, right?
Yeah.
So why are birds able to sit on these power lines with no
Well,
repercussions?
they're, like, lighter,
Oh,
right?
no, they're not grounded. They're landing on the power line with both of their feet, so they're
Okay.
making a full connection. Yeah, and they're not
So
touching the ground, so there's nowhere for the power to go.
I don't understand that.
Me either. I am not a woman in STEM.
And in addition to that, I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like, when I did travel to Montana, we went to Yellowstone, and those birds had 2 feet, 2 claws on the ground in those super high volcanic floors that where they have signs, "Don't stand, you'll disintegrate," and these birds are just like, "Let me chill right here. Why
Uh-huh.
not?"
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they are fireproof, and they are also electricity proof, is what you're
Well,
saying.
they're not, though. They're not electricity proof. When I worked at the wildlife area, I got a phone call one day, and all of our wildlife techs were out in the field doing a burn. They
Okay.
do prescribed burns. And this was in the fall, and there was a group of sandhill cranes. The sandhill cranes come here in the fall, and they hang out for about 2 months while they feed and get ready to head south. a group of them had flown up out of a cornfield and ran into there was this area where there's 6 power lines, like, all on one side.
Okay.
They hit the power lines with their head. One part of them touched it, and 3 of them crashed to the ground and were dead. I had to go pick them up off the ground.
Hmm.
I had to pick them up. It was so sad.
Not all of them.
Well, I don't know that all of them nobody saw it happen, so not all of them probably hit the lines, 3 of them were on the ground.
Okay.
Barb is making some really good points
I
today.
Barb, I just love you.
Only 3 of them probably hit the power line, but
But
we don't
nobody
know. We
but
weren't
nobody
there.
saw.
And
All I
it
know
still does not answer her question as to why they're able to just chill out on those wires.
Yeah.
'cause they're making a complete circuit. You have to understand the way the electricity works to answer that.
So is what you're saying, Carla, if I hold on to the power line with 2 of my hands instead of 1, complete circuit.
Not sure. Not sure.
I'm not gonna test
I
it.
can't answer that definitively, so I'm not going to
Okay, okay.
try. I just know it has something to do with how electricity works. We ground our houses because if we ground it, then if it gets struck by electricity, there's some place for the power to go.
My boyfriend is an electrician, or no, he's not an electrician, he's an electrical engineer, but he might be asleep right now.
Oh,
Well, that's convenient.
that's convenient. Okay. Anyway, okay, so back to Barb. Barb, anything else on the power lines?
No, no, it wasn't about the power lines. It was just until we get a male or female in STEM to explain some electricity things to us, I guess we're kind of out of luck, which I'm going to use to my advantage.
Okay.
So we're kind of going to get into the history of this conspiracy theory. This is how the creators of this conspiracy theory usually start their talks when they talk about it, is by asking these two questions, right? But this movement really began on January 21st of 2017, which was one day after Donald Trump's inauguration.
Oh.
Also happened to be a very big women's march, right? Women specifically took to the streets globally to advocate for women's rights as human rights, especially, in the face of political positions and statements that Donald Trump had been making. One of these marches happened in Memphis, Tennessee, where a man by the name of Peter McIndoe, hopefully I'm saying that right, was watching and he saw some counter protesters like jazzing up Trump, which, although it was counter related, wasn't what the women were actually protesting, right? They were protesting for their rights. And he kind of found it silly that these men were counter protesting. And he's just like, well, what if I make a stupid sign to counter protest their counter protests? So he grabbed a marker and a poster board and wrote the 3 words that seemingly had no meaning: birds aren't real.
Oh, as
Uh-huh.
simple as that.
Simple.
Yeah. And so while he was at the protest walking around, people kept coming up to him, asking him to explain what he meant by that. And he didn't have a meeting at the time, but he kind of just went with it on the fly. And he just said, well, the government killed all the birds and replaced them with robots to spy on the American population.
Mhm.
Just like
Which is,
that?
yeah, just out of the blue, which is, you're gonna remember that if someone just randomly tells you that on the street, like, so serious about it.
Wait, when was that, like, crazy bird thing where a bunch of birds died? It was, like, the chickens? That's why the egg
Oh.
prices
Was that
went
the
up?
Flu?
bird flu and stuff?
No, 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 there was, like,
No, that
some
was a bird flu.
that was very recent, though.
Yeah, but I feel like that was probably within the last 7 to 10 years. It was like the bird flu
Yeah,
epidemic.
it's happened a few times,
Yeah,
but
like
that there
chicken
was a
like, they had to
huge
kill a
one.
bunch of chickens. It's been a couple of times in the last 10 years. They had to, like, go through chicken farms and clear out all the chickens. I remember because I love going to the zoo, and our local zoo, they put all the birds away because they were like, "Oh, the bird flu's going around. We don't want our birds to die." And this was, like, in the last 10 years
Yeah, and ducks can spread that too. So,
because ducks are kind of birds.
they're fowl. So, like
Okay.
chickens, waterfowl, and land fowl, I suppose.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, this is something that so I understand that the theory came about in 2017, but I think that, like, the theory is that they started replacing them around the '60s, right? Like, in 1959?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got all of that, man.
Yeah. You went
Yeah,
down
so
the rabbit hole.
I did. So after making these crazy claims at a protest, he started gaining traction on social media, dropped out of college, and then convinced his best friend, Connor, to help him create this movement. He's like, "Dude, we're getting traction here. I'm not sure why, but if we're gonna do it, let's do it." So, first things first, like all good conspiracy theories, they had to provide proof that this was legit. So, Peter wrote a 50-page manifesto, created a false history, documents, and media to legitimize his claims, and then they went around the US in a white cargo van and with a saying on it. I'm sure you guys have probably seen pictures of it, of like just birds are real.
Was it like a DHL van? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, kind of, well, kinda, but yeah, so their history did include the narrative that from 1959 to 2001, the government killed over 12 billion birds and
Wow.
replaced them with drones, and then that the movement itself had to actually started back in the '70s, not that this was a new phenomenon. They even filmed a supposed whistleblower from the CIA confirming that the bird robots were a real thing.
I
Like,
no,
they
I feel
went
like I've seen this on the TikToks. They're like, "Check out this robot bird that we're taking apart." And, of course, like, these days, you don't know what to believe because a lot of the stuff is AI generated, but you see it and it's all there, and if you're not a person who is, like, maybe taught or knows about AI, you could totally think that's all real.
I have two counterpoints to that, Barb, and I support you most of the time in this conversation right now. But if the birds were replaced from 59 to 71, is that in the US? And when we're talking about the government that did that, are we talking about the US government? Are we talking a larger organization? Because more importantly, like we can't just remove the birds from the US and not expect them to migrate, right? Like, Carla, correct me if I'm wrong with that, but they do migrate across oceans
They
too.
absolutely do. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
continents.
we actually had a bird here a few years ago in Cracks called a gargany duck. It was a teal species from Europe, and it showed up here in the middle of the United States, and, so
It came
maybe
here
that
to
was
the
a government spy from one of those European countries, though, you know?
well, yeah, that's why I mean, like, who is them? Who is the government? Like, what does it really mean? I don't know if you've ever watched Spy Kids, but, like, can you
I
tell
love
me
my kids.
yeah, it's like,
Human.
who's they? The people that really own this park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good point. No, it was the American government, so they say, right, that they pretty much poison them like bits by little bits year after year. That's what they're claiming,
Oh my
right?
gosh. And it sounds a little culty,
Oh yeah, 100%.
is all I wanna say about that movement.
But there's some stuff that could feed into that with actual things that happen to, like, bald eagles and peregrine falcons and stuff,
Oh,
like, they were almost gone because of DDT,
What is
like
that?
DDT, like, it's a chemical that was used it's a pesticide.
oh, DEET.
Well,
DEET.
not bug spray, like, you're talking about DEET like bug spray?
No, DEET, like, I had, like, real DEET
Yeah,
when
no,
I
not that.
was overseas. No,
Yeah.
but, like, the
Oh
DEET that
gosh.
I used was so harmful that I get, like, a percentage of disability from the government because 'cause they're like, "You shouldn't have used that DEET overseas."
No, this was a chemical that was being used, like, on farm fields and stuff like that, and it was what it was doing was thinning out the eggs for eagles and peregrine
Oh.
falcons and stuff like that, and so the eggs would not be able to hatch,
Mm.
and
I
so
was gonna try to give the audience the full name, but it's not pronounceable.
yeah. Yeah, so that I mean, that was in the '70s, so, I mean, that could be, then they started, like, repopulating with
With
government
robots?
robot bald eagles and peregrine falcons, and now, I mean, look at peregrine falcons, they nest on the side of big buildings and stuff in big
Mm.
cities, they're probably spying on the corporations and stuff.
So, okay, Barb, let me ask you a question. I have a friend who is really into the robot pigeon theory. And one summer, I was talking to him on the phone and I was like, oh, there's like a pigeon. Oh, he's a really cute pigeon, like up on the eaves of my house. And he's like, how many are there? And I was like, there's just one. He's like, it's a spy. And I was like, "How do you know it's a spy?" And he was like, "'Cause there's only one." I was like, Wait a minute, what is it? Wait." He's like, "If there was more than one, it wouldn't be a spy. But there's only one, so you're getting like, what did you do? You're being spied on."
when Bert was dancing with the pigeon in Sesame Street, was there more than one pigeon?
I don't remember. I no, I feel like there's several
Was
pigeons.
there? Okay.
Yeah, okay. So what do you think, Barb? Does it matter how many pigeons you see for there to be, like, spies or
I mean, I don't know if it matters, it depends how many people we're watching here. How many people are we surveilling, really? I think
oh,
one stands out a little more because
because there's only
what are
one.
you doing on your lonesome, bud? You know?
Yeah, okay,
You
alright.
think Disney fed into that when they did the Mary Poppins movie with the Feed the Bird song?
I don't know, like, what year was that? Was that supposed to be in the 1800s?
I think, like, right around the turn of the century.
So around the turn of the century because
Yeah.
the okay, so Barb, what do you know about the World War One and 2? Weren't there, like, pigeon spies or
Homing.
homing pigeons that would bring messages to people?
Yeah, so during World War One and Two, the government multiple governments, just so we're all clear, use homing pigeons, specifically in the US. They help to carry coded messages without them being intercepted, and then during the Cold War, pigeons, like, had little cameras strapped to their chest,
Okay.
and they took pictures behind, enemy lines. So, like, I mean, it's not super far of a stretch to say that the government has used birds to
Yeah.
spy on people.
They're like the OG.
Yeah, like, the OG seriously, like, there's a pretty big history of pigeons being used for espionage, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely some history. I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere in Great Britain, there's like a section of their like war museum dedicated to the birds that helped out in
Mm,
their wars.
that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But I mean, like at the end of it all, they ended up gaining national attention, like, news outlets basically started treating them like they were an actual movement, and it was supposed to be satirical the whole time, like, some of the claims they're making are pretty crazy. So they got huge, like, news outlets were reporting like, "Oh, this is a real movement," and they went on with it for, like, 4 years before they got to, like, 2021, and Peter went and talked to the New York Times and was just like, "Hey, this entire thing is a satire. This is not supposed to be serious."
Leave it to our media and our current environmental
Yeah,
people to not recognize satire.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, so it's cool what ended up happening with these guys. They started giving TED Talks on the topic, and they started off by trying to, like, give the whole spiel of the birds aren't real theory, and then they're like, "Hey, actually, this whole thing is just a commentary on propaganda and the crisis of belief and belonging." So, like, in the age of misinformation, right, as we call it, because there's so much misinformation out there. They kinda argue that people cling to conspiracy theories because other people are confirming the beliefs that they have, right? Like, this group of people all believes the same thing, and it gives them a sense of belonging into something, but then when other people criticize this movement, calling it whatever, it creates a larger sense of other, and it just divides us further apart, like, people in general.
Yeah,
So the whole thing was a commentary just about, like, the crisis we're in of people not feeling like they belong.
yeah. Gosh, like, even on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, wherever you watch your stuff, I feel like I have heard so many different takes on where the government is headed, and I always look to, like, the bottom left of the post because on the bottom well, I'm talking for TikTok, I guess. Because on the bottom left, it'll say, like, AI generated, and then
Mhm.
I'll know, like, "Oh, this is just something somebody made up or made an AI video to look like somebody is saying something," right? It's so easy these days to dupe a large number of people, especially those that don't know how to figure out what is really real and what is not.
Mhm. They're just looking for things to cling on to.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories, it seems like more recently, and maybe it's because of the dawning of TikTok and such. When did TikTok start?
Oh my gosh, like, what, 4 or 5 years ago, right?
That's been around for a very long time, and that they just transitioned it from it was a singing app into, like, a regular
Mm,
digital media, like, social media thing, so I think I think it blew up in, like, 20.
okay.
Mhm. That makes sense. So my daughter, she graduated in '21. She got really into bird watching birding when she was in high school because they had a really great biology teacher that made it part of their biology 2 class. You had to go out and identify at least 60 birds, and she broke a record for the number of birds identified from January 1st until June 6th or something like
Mm,
that. But that was when that whole birds are real thing was really starting to take off, is when she was really starting herself to get into birding.
mhm.
But she loved that. I mean, she just thought it was great. I think she had a T-shirt. I think she had a sticker on her water bottle, and
Yeah.
it's
It's like instead of, like, honor roll student, birdwatcher extraordinaire.
yeah.
Really cute. That's really cute. I
You
love
bet.
that.
But I never knew about the background of that, and I think that's super interesting that it started from, like, a
A
women's
rally,
march.
yeah,
Yeah, just someone going, "You guys are a bunch of idiots,
yeah,
you're not focusing on the right thing here. Here's something else to do," and, it was just satirical and funny
yeah.
and ugh,
So, Barb, you think birds are real, though, but do you think
except maybe
any
pigeons.
oh, except maybe pigeons,
Yeah.
because we've never seen a baby pigeon, we've never seen a bird electrocuted, but, like, do you think that pigeons could effectively be used to spy on people?
So I think it's possible, right? I mean, like we talked about, there's history of governments using birds to spy on people. And, drones, like bird drones do exist. That is a real thing. They're mostly used by scientists to like observe bird behavior.
Like the movie Hoppers. Have you seen Hoppers?
It's like
No.
It's like a Disney-ish type movie, and they make robot, beavers that they put their brains into, and then because they're the robot beavers, they're able to go see other beavers that are real and interact with them and see, like, why they don't want to be in the habitat any longer.
Yeah, yeah, it's kinda like that, like, that's the purpose of them. They basically used taxidermied birds that have since passed and then throw a drone inside of it. So do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think maybe once upon a time it could have been utilized in small scale? Yes, but I mean, at this rate where we are and the technology available to us, I mean,
Right.
how many of us just joke like, "Oh, the CIA agent in my phone is gonna hear that." I don't think they need birds to do that, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and, like, V and I talked early on, I think it was, like, episode 1, there was the, 2022 death of scientist Amy, and she had said in one of her videos before she died that, "Hey, they have the capability to see like, the government, to see everything because we have computers, which right now we're recording. They could be watching us. We have phones. They could be listening to us. We have, I mean, everything in our house that's connected, like the Echoes, the Google Dots, all those things." And she said, basically, whenever they need to pull all of your information, they're able to do it if they need to because you're a threat and they need to make you go away.
Yeah, I fully believe I really hope I'm not being listened to, I mean, I know I am, but yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think the government listens to us much more than that we've been led on to, I think. Our privacy isn't that private.
I mean, the thing is that they can take AI now and read through or, like, listen to so many recordings
Oh yeah.
and much faster than humans can and flag things, and
Oh
then,
yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do understand that spying is happening and that government is able to get information about us that we probably don't want them to have. Do I worry about it in my own personal life? No.
No, I'm too boring.
I'm so boring. I
Yeah.
mean, who wants to watch me watch birds,
Yeah.
or whatever
Right.
else I do? Who wants to listen to
We
me
do.
are bad.
Yeah. V's
Badly
like,
play my
"We do."
guitar and sing,
Yeah.
or talk to clients on the phone,
Yeah.
you know.
I know we're being watched because ain't none of us, not one of us, read the terms and conditions when we update our phones.
Oh, never. Never ever. Ugh. Okay, so what concerns you, Barb?
I was gonna say I'm a boring person, right? But I joke too much
Oh,
all
same.
the time, and I talk about conspiracy theories like crazy. I mean, you and I sat down and talked about them for a while a couple weeks ago, like,
Yeah.
I joke, I take jokes too far, so I'm like, "I'm probably being listened to, and it's how are they gonna decipher whether I'm being serious or not?" And suddenly I'm gonna be taken out.
And I think, I mean, honestly, I mean, if we're talking about a state of are you worried or not, is probably what direction does the government or the world take,
Right,
right?
right.
So, yeah.
That remains to be seen. All I know is I'm so tired of, like, saying, "Oh, we need to mow the lawn," and all of a sudden I just see tractors,
Oh,
lawnmowers, and
yeah.
stuff on my Facebook feed all the time,
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
like you mention something to somebody and all of a sudden your algorithm is a bunch of lawn mowing people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else, Barb?
No, no, not really. I just, I don't think robot pigeons are just the most effective way to spy on us anymore.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like they'd probably birds are very twitchy, I feel like. Maybe that's not the right word for it. I just don't think, a
Well, they have very sudden
drone.
movements. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't think that it could replicate it in a meaningful way. I was watching quite a few bird drone videos earlier, and their movements are just too smooth, right? Like, because they're like, "Oh, well, we've, calculated it down to, how many times they flap their wings and, how many seconds in between," but I was staring out at the birds here at my new place, and I was just like, it's not a consistent thing. It's not like every 2 seconds they flap their wing, It's
Mhm.
Right.
very erratic, and I just don't think it would be convincing enough.
Yeah, like hard to replicate. I see that. Okay. Well, V, do you have any final thoughts?
It's difficult to tell whether or not the birds are all real. I do believe that we have living amongst us, similar to Men in Black, a couple of drones or robotic animals that are there set to spy. But I also think that they might not be deployed necessarily just for the average Joe unless they have a specific reason. So I do think that birds are real for sure. They're beautiful and that it's very cool to learn more and more about them. They're definitely phonies out there though. So watch out.
I'm gonna go round robin. What's your favorite bird, V?
So my favorite bird is the Venezuela's bird. So it's like their national bird. It's a macaw. In Spanish, it's called guacamaya.
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 I like it. Barb, what's your favorite bird?
Can I say peeps even though I don't like peeps? Because I really birds are just not my thing, man.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I
they're
mean,
very
why
pretty,
not?
but, they freak me out.
Okay.
Oh, that
I really like flamingos because 'cause they're pink and they're brightly colored, and it's really funny to watch them at SeaWorld. They're very busy and they kinda move in circles with each other. I just love them.
mm.
So, Carla, what about you?
It's the hardest question anybody ever asks me is what my favorite bird is because I
So
have
what's
so
your
many.
favorite
Um,
bird right now?
I think well, my favorite like, I have a favorite duck. It's called the ruddy duck, and it's
Okay.
just cute. It's like this little cute little duck, and its tail, sticks straight up and a little bit back towards its head,
Okay.
and it doesn't show up here very often, so when I see one, I get really
You really
excited because I don't
okay.
see them. If I go to South Dakota, you'll find them there. They breed in the
Marshes?
well, they yeah, in the marshes and stuff up through North Dakota and stuff,
Okay.
so the Central Flyway, I think they call that. But I don't know, I love owls in general
Mm,
a lot, and, so getting an opportunity to see an owl for me is pretty
pretty
neat, and
special.
around here, I see, the barred owls, but I take trips to Northern Minnesota to see the big great gray owl, and I
Okay.
love those.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I wanna thank you guys again. I know, like, we've had a fun time for almost an hour talking about birds and, if they're real or not. So, thanks, everyone. Thank you to our fans. Everyone keep sharing, keep following. Tell us what you guys wanna hear too.
I am curious to see what our fans want to hear more about. Maybe it's more conspiracies. Maybe it's unpopular opinions. Maybe it's real life experiences. Who knows?
Or maybe, like, what is your favorite movie? Or what is
Mhm.
the movie that you will watch over and over again? I will comfortably say I love the Twilight series, but, a lot of people do not. So
Last Unicorn.
oh, The Last Unicorn, so good.
Oh, that one was funny. I
Yeah.
think we might need an episode on vampires.
Also, you should talk to my daughter sometime when she's living down in New Mexico right now. She was
Yeah.
just telling me that they have, like there's ghosts and stuff all
Oh my
over the place
gosh.
down
I
there.
love a good ghost
She has
tour.
some really great stories from the place she works and at her house and stuff,
Mm,
so
But that's what we could do, local ghost stories.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be great. That'd
yeah.
be amazing.
Oh, I've got one for that too.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we'll have to all come back together again for a good ghost story.
Call it Ghost Tours Around America.
Oh,
All I know is I'm a big
nice.
fan of the whole show, and I'm so happy that I got to
Oh
be
my
on it.
gosh,
This
yes.
is my first podcast. It was so fun.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. Thank you, Barb. You guys are amazing, and it made it so fun.
I agree. You guys are a hoot, no pun in
Hoot, 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 hoot,
It is a
hoot.
is a now a good time to tell you guys I've definitely seen a bird get electrocuted.
Oh my god, yes. The perfect time. Be waking up my boyfriend tomorrow morning and being like, "Why can birds stand in power lines?"
There was a very good video, it was great, of someone grabbing a fire extinguisher and putting it out. It was quite entertaining. So, unfortunately, I do know birds can get electrocuted. I just wanna know why they don't typically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good
Uh,
call.
well, on that note, thanks everyone. Thank you, SMEs, and stay curious, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.